Welcome to episode 7 of Game Day Girls. I'm Maggie.
I'm Ella.
And jumping straight into things, the Jets, it was absolutely terrible. I have to be honest, I was just like, I can't even watch this anymore. It was just so hard to watch. And it's different if it's a close loss. It's like you still have the same, like you're 3-7, but it's like, that was just a blowout. They didn't even look like an NFL team. It was just terrible. And on the other side though, Kyler Murray, he had a great game, I think, 266 yards, 1 TD, and our defense just wasn't prepared for him. He ran all around us, and it was just frustrating. Our defense just underperformed than I know what they can do, and especially I have to highlight Sauce Gardner. He had a great rookie season, and he's just been underperforming this season. I think his tackling's terrible. He can't tackle. Yeah, he's been a huge disappointment this year, and it's frustrating. So we have to go undefeated the rest of the season to have a chance to go 10-7, but yeah, not feeling too good about our odds.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Overall, just not a good game. Offensive side, only 6 points.
Yeah.
Defensive side, like you've been saying, Sauce Gardner, he's just such a big part of that defense, and he has been underperforming this year. And for them to get better, I think that he's a big role model on that team, and if he starts stepping it up, I think some of the other team players will too.
I think we got a big matchup this week against the Colts. I think now that we know Anthony Richardson's going to be starting, I want to see how does our defense prepare for him and what they can do to stop him, because we know he's younger, we know that he can run. So I want to see that improve this week compared to last week, because it was not good.
Yeah, I definitely think, Anthony Richardson, another running quarterback just like Kyler Murray. I think if you can do a better job containing him and putting pressure on Anthony Richardson, I think you guys will be fine. Moving on to Thursday Night Football, Bengals versus Ravens. Ravens inched out another close win, 35-34. Thoughts on that?
I think if you're a Bengals fan, you just got to be really frustrated right now. You're playing great. It's just capitalizing. It's finishing the game. They have a winning team. Their record could easily be the other way, 6-4. It's just they're just not finishing. And I think they are a playoff team. I think that they could get a wild card, but they need these next few weeks really step it up and finish games.
Yeah, I think they do have a really, really good team. Like you said, 4-6. They deserve to be that. You look at their losses, and they're not even that bad of losses versus good teams like the Ravens.
Yeah, you go in the Arrowhead, you barely lose to the world champs.
Yeah.
It's just, and the Ravens are a good team too. They're away, that was hard. I personally think with the 2-point conversion, the Ravens still had 38 seconds on the clock. So even if they did get that 2-point conversion, the Ravens, I feel still could have, they have Justin Tucker, he can make 50, 60-yard field goals. So, I don't think it was the correct call. I think I would have just gone for the one and rely on your defense to get some big plays. But
yeah, I think I'd probably agree. Your offense is already playing really well. Joe Burrow, 428 yards on 4 TDs.
Yeah.
He played really, really well. 2 big passes to Jamar Chase. I think you just roll with the offense out there and hope the defense can make a stop or you get the ball first.
Yeah. And, their defense, they gave up 35 points, but that's good against a offense like the Ravens. That's, So I don't think it was the correct call, but I also see both sides, wanting to finish against a great team like that on the road. I see it, but I don't,
Yeah. Do you think that 2-point conversion, do you think it was pass interference?
I do not. I think in a situation like that, you really got to let them play. But I could see how some may say it is, but I don't really think it is. I think in the ref situation, you just got to let it go.
Yeah, and I think that, you're going to have calls that the refs aren't going to make, and you still got to be able to, finish as a team.
Going into the Chiefs-Broncos, though, that was a great game to watch. I think we kind of saw the bad side of the Chiefs, honestly. Their O-line was really struggling. They had tons of sacks on Patrick Mahomes, and, they just continue to find ways to win games, and it's really impressive. I think that was, the most electric way to win a game. Blocking a kick is, the most electric, because it's just so, uncommon, and instead of, a Hail Mary pass, I just think that was awesome, the way that it finished like that. Yeah. They played great. And I think, though, the Broncos should still feel good about themselves. You go on the road to Kansas City in an environment like that against the world champs, and you beat them. You basically beat them, but, it's just unfortunate how it ended for them.
Yeah, the Broncos are still 5-5. They still, they're in a decent spot. It could be better, but it's not horrible. And a team like this Chiefs, they're 9-0 right now, but, they're definitely, the wins are getting a lot shorter of margins.
Yeah, I agree. And, we'll definitely see in their next matchup in Denver this time how that would go about, and I mean, another great game.
Moving on to Saints versus Falcons, a win 20-17. Derek Carr, 269 yards on 2 TDs. Kirk Cousins, 366 yards. I mean, I think that it wasn't a great game for either teams. I think the Falcons had 3 turnovers, and the Saints definitely capitalized on that, which I think was able to get them through the win.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those games. It's like, and the Falcons are a good team. I mean, they're 6-4. I think they're one of the teams that are like under siege. So it was a good win for the Saints, but kind of in the same situation now with a 3-7. Like, every game is like a must win, basically.
Yeah, and I think that we're not going to make the playoffs. I mean, we're 3-7 right now, but like
mathematically, you never know. I mean, you got to win out now, but
yeah, if we can just start, playing well and getting some of these young guys more reps and start, building more of a team and have a decent draft pick for next year, I think we could, be a lot better of a team next year.
Yeah, and then obviously going into the Sunday night football game, Lions-Texans, that was a great game to watch. It was
crazy.
First off, mentioning the Texans uniforms, those are pretty sweet. It would kind of hurt the eyes a little bit, but I thought they were pretty sweet. I think the big thing that I saw was C.J. Stroud. He had a great first half, but then the Lions defense, they just like clicked in the second half. I think they went into the locker room and they figured out like this is how we got to stop him, because they only gave up 3 points in the second half. Like, that's impressive. And for a team with a quarterback, the Lions, that threw 5 interceptions and still wins, like, that's just so impressive. And I think on the other side, if you're the Texans, you're like, we had 5 takeaways and we couldn't capitalize and we couldn't still like win the game. And it's just, I think it's frustrating for them, because those are top 2 teams right now that I have. I think I have Lions right now in favor for the Super Bowl for the NFC side, but
I agree.
The fact that they could do that against a Texans team and throw 5, like, that's just mind-blowing.
It's honestly like just a testament to like how good the Lions are. I mean, 5 interceptions on Jared Goff's half isn't great, but the defense still played pretty well. And like you said, like going to that locker room 23-3 at halftime, like you have to step it up. And with the Texans, losing the past couple of weeks, I think that they got to get their things together, and because they do have it, they have a good quarterback, C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon. I realize some of the receivers are hurt right now. Their only options really Tank Dell, but they'll get better. I mean, they have a good team, so they'll probably turn it around here soon.
And I think another big thing, Lions defense, like Joe Mixon, he had a pretty good first half, and they just you barely saw him in the second half. So I think it was just like that was a big thing for them. It's impressive to see that defense like play like that even without their main guy, Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for episode 7. I'm Maggie.
I'm Ella. See you next week.